people. Welcome back to Reese World. If this is your first time stopping by, you're highly welcome. Feel free and enjoy the channel. And if you've been watching my videos, thank you so much. I am grateful for the support and efforts you guys put in to make this channel what it is now. Please don't go without subscribing. Click that red subscribe icon below and subscribe to this channel. Like and comment on my videos. And if you have any suggestion, please leave it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. I want to start this video by apologizing to my relationship subscribers. I am truly sorry for I've not been consistent with relationship vibes on this channel. This is because I've had a lot going on in my life that I will tell you guys some other time, not today. I've been so busy giving you guys Cameroon vlogs that I kind of forgot that I had to satisfy my relationship subscribers. Sorry guys, I am back. So today's video is about 10 mistakes in relationship. Mistake number 1, using my instead of our, or using I instead of our. That sounds tricky, right? When you're in a relationship, it becomes one person, the two becomes one. No longer like my you no longer concentrate on my. When you talk about my, when you want to talk anything, you're like my this, my life, my business, my, you kind of make the other person feel left out. They make the other person feel like, okay, if this person is so focused on building his or her life alone, then I need to take a break and also try to build my life. When the two of you now are focused on building your lives as individuals and not as people in a relationship, not as one person, your goals and your aims, your dreams, your missions, your vision starts being different. You guys start working opposite from each other and the relationship starts falling apart. But when you are in a relationship with somebody, I don't mean this kind of, how do they call it, benefit relationship that you're just there maybe just for sex or something, or yeah, no, I don't mean that. I mean a relationship that you people are planning to have a better future. Then you should stop using the word my in that relationship and start using are. Like if you're married and your wife is pregnant, you're like, we are pregnant. You're not saying I am or she is pregnant. You're like, we are pregnant. Start using we, start using our instead of my, or instead of her, or instead of his. It's noun are when you're in a relationship. Avoid that word my, avoid that word I, because in a relationship the two become one. Is your thing, no longer is our thing, no longer your thing, or no longer my thing. So be very very careful when you start putting my, the other persons to start thinking about his or herself that no, you are not serious. They need to work for their own lives too. So that's relationship mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is lack of trust. Before even getting into a relationship with somebody, you need to trust that person. They say where you cannot love without trust. If you think that you are loving somebody, you don't trust a person, then you are not actually loving that person. You have some selfish feelings for that person, but it's not yet called love. Because when there is trust, there's love. You can, I prefer you say I trust you than saying I love you. Because when you trust somebody, you have given that person all. You will support that person in any way you can. So first thing in a relationship is trust. When you trust somebody, the relationship goes ahead. If you see that you're in a relationship with somebody and you don't trust that person, I would advise you to quit, because you're wasting your time. There's nothing you guys can work out together. Even when it comes to finances, even when it comes to secrets, you cannot share, you cannot communicate, you cannot discuss, because you don't trust that person. You don't know how the person is going to react the next second. So trust is a necessity. A mistake you will make is not trusting your partner. That's the second relationship mistake, lack of trust. A third relationship mistake is poor communication. This is, communication is a pillar of a relationship, as I can say. Because if you don't communicate, the other person will not know what you feel, what you are thinking, or what is wrong in the relationship. So you need to communicate. When you have poor communication, like your partner does a mistake or something is going wrong in the relationship, instead of you communicating it to your partner, you kind of stay quiet and assume that the partner should know that what they are doing is wrong. Most of the time people do what is wrong, but they don't know that what they are doing is wrong, or they don't know that what they are doing is actually affecting you in a way that is kind of causing you not to focus. So it's always good to communicate with your partner, communicate everything. As long as it's disturbing you, communicate it. Communicate whatever it is with somebody you're in a relationship with. Try to communicate with that person in every single way. Create a means of communication. Even if you have to use eye contact, so there should be a good communication between you and your partner. Don't be in a relationship with somebody that you feel like you're in a kind of cage. You cannot talk, you cannot communicate your feelings out to that person. Then that is not a relationship you should be in. Be in a relationship with somebody that you have free and good communication with that person. You are not under a military rule when you're in a relationship that you don't have freedom to talk. No, the freedom of talking should be there. Good communication, not a communication that you want to start, you guys go into fighting, beating, cursing each other. No, good communication where you communicate, listen. Communication like you talk, you listen, you talk, you listen. That is good communication. So poor communication is a big relationship mistake that you should avoid in your relationship. If you see that you're trying to adjust communication and it's only poor, then it's not a healthy relationship. You should shift from it and get a relationship where you have good communication. Another point is being who you are not, like pretending to be who you are not. Most of the times when relationships start, you see some people pretend to. For ladies, they pretend like they show that they are hardworking, especially when they have to spend the night in the guy's house. You see a lady will get up 5 o'clock and struggle to do things so that the guy will see that no, I'm hardworking, I'm this. And now the guy starts loving you because he thinks that you are hardworking. You get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, you do stuff. Because that's not what is in you. You are just pretending to keep that relationship going. You are just forming attitude, or you are this kind of guy that when you start a relationship, you shower the girl with gifts, you're buying the girl gifts, you're taking her to expensive places, things you cannot hold up to. And then when the relationship has stayed, you realize that you cannot keep on with that, and it starts collapsing because the person came into your life because of the pretense you showed. That's a big relationship mistake. Be who you are. Let them see who you are and still decide to fall in love with you. Stop creating images that are not part of you. Stop giving people the impression that you are something that you are not. When you give that impression, it's difficult to maintain pretense from the beginning to the end of a relationship. Like the end should be dead. If you are beginning a serious relationship that you want, then it's like till death do us part. So if you are beginning to pretend, especially in a relationship like marriage relationship, you pretend from the beginning. How long will you pretend all your life? You will not be happy, you will not enjoy that relationship. So avoid being who you are not just for a relationship. Be yourself and they should love you for who you are. Another big relationship mistake that most people do is comparison. You compare with your partner so much that you don't know when to stop. Some people, they get up in the morning, their partners have not texted. They're like, okay, I texted yesterday, so I am not going to text today till he or she texts before I reply. And then the relationship starts collapsing. Maybe the other person is not texting you because the person is in a kind of situation, the person is busy, or the person sleeps a lot and is unable to get up on time to text you. You don't know. But because you have that notion that no, we are competing, I only do this if the person is doing it. If you're in that kind of relationship, then it's toxic for you. You need to leave. You don't need to stay in that kind of relationship where you are competing. There's no competition in relationship. Like if you buy me a phone, I should buy you a phone. If you buy me a car, I should buy you a car. You are competing. You are showing who can do better than the other. No, there's no comparison in a relationship. Give what you have. And when you're giving it, give it with all your heart. If you are loving somebody, you should love that person freely. Don't love that person because that person is loving you. Don't give this to that person. If you see that you are in a relationship that you are compelled to do something to your partner because your partner is doing it to you, then you are not in the right relationship. You are in the wrong one. You should be in a relationship that you are doing something because it is right to do it, not because the other person is doing it, but because it is the right thing to do. If you find yourself that you're doing something just because you're trying to compare, your partner did this time, so you should do it. Your partner slept out, so you should sleep out. Don't let anybody's attitude change who you are. Your partner is working with this number of friends, so you should also work with this number of friends. No, no comparison. Be yourself, be you. Because comparison is a big mistake that destroys relationships. Our next point is unfaithfulness. Once you're in a relationship with somebody, I'd rather say if you are tired of that person, then end the relationship with that person and move to the next person rather than being unfaithful. One, when you're unfaithful in a relationship and the other person finds out, unfaithfulness brings people to a level that destroys their personality. When somebody cheats on you, you start thinking like, am I incapable of being the kind of person that this person wants? Am I so bad? Am I ugly? Am I not befitting? You start asking yourself questions. You start doubting your self-esteem because someone cheated. So when you cheat on somebody, you destroy that person both physically and emotionally. Some people even go as far as committing suicide because they cheated on them. Oh, that is a very lame way. I will not advise anybody to do that. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Life has so many other beautiful things than dying because of relationship. But yeah, when you cheat on somebody, you make the person doubt their own self-esteem. So than to be unfaithful in a relationship, better leave that relationship. Don't stay there hurting other people. Don't stay there hurting the other person and being unfaithful. Our next point is pride. Pride is the worst thing to have in a relationship. Pride, they say before any fall comes pride. Like before any relationship crumbles, pride comes ahead. Like you are so feel like you feel like you are too big to say I'm sorry. You don't want to apologize for any wrong thing you do. You feel like, no, apologizing makes me look too small in front of this person, so I should not apologize for any wrong thing I do. Some people do wrong things, instead of them apologizing, they just come and start acting nicely, start giving you gifts without apologizing. That is pride. Pride destroys a relationship. Common I'm sorry solves every problem and life goes on. Be that kind of a person that you don't bother. When once, as long as you discover that you are wrong, you go directly and apologize and everything goes back to normal. Stop letting pride come into your relationship and destroy things, because pride is the worst thing to have. Our next relationship mistake is over familiarity with routines. Okay, there are routines that people do in their relationship that when you do it over and over and over, it becomes boring. It becomes something like, it's become so boring that the other person can no longer handle it. You start just being like any normal person in front of the other person. In a relationship, you need to learn to be exploitive. Is that the word I should use? Yeah, in a relationship, you need to learn to exploit every day. You need to discover new things that will spice up the relationship. Stop living on routines. Stop letting your relationship be on routine. We do this particular thing at 8 o'clock. We do this particular thing like this. You don't look for new styles to do things in a relationship. You don't look for new styles even to present yourself in front of your man. No, you don't bring new things even in the bedroom. You don't bring new things in the relationship. You don't bring new activities. You just have a particular line of activities that you follow. When you start following it and doing it over and over, it becomes boring, and it makes it easier for the other person to know when to cheat and not when not to cheat, because the person knows that at 10 o'clock we will be doing this particular thing, so the person can decide to go and cheat at 6. But when you bring new things every day, it keeps the other person very conscious, because the person does not know when you are coming and when you are not coming, or when you are bringing this or when you are not doing. And only your new discoveries in the relationship doesn't even give time for the other partner to think of going to look for another source of happiness, because every day a new form of happiness comes up. So yeah, avoid routines in a relationship, because it's a big relationship mistake to have routines. Okay guys, we've come to the end of this video. That's all for our relationship mistakes. Thank you so much for watching from the beginning of this video right up to this end. And if you have any suggestion, please leave it in the comment section. And if you know of any other things that you wish I would have said them in this video, leave it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Hey, don't go without subscribing. Please click that red subscribe icon below and subscribe to this channel. And hey, after subscribing, turn on your post notifications, so whenever I post a new video, you'll be notified to watch. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the next video.